Do you want to talk about anything that has nothing to do with what's been going viral?
Nah, I just hopped in here. But what's up? What you want to talk about? I mean, I was just about to talk to you and the people. I was gonna ask you, were you looking for clout? Because it seems like you just posted a TikTok and you wanted, people to see you. And I think, I don't know, people are taking it seriously when it seems like you did that. Because I remember I saw somebody else had posted him, and then I saw your TikTok second. So I'm just wondering, like, do you like the attention that's coming from it all, or what? I'm
I don't
genuinely
want to talk
curious.
about.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's about 500 people in here, okay? And I know you guys are in here for everything that's going on. If you guys want to DM me and mention it, go ahead. This is not going, this, from this live and moving forward, it's not going to be talked about.
Mm.
It's just not going to be talked about. But if you
Danny,
want to message me, more than welcome.
Danny, the thing I'm trying to like let you know is that this isn't
I know
going to
what you're
stop.
trying. Well, what I'm trying to say is, I really, again, I appreciate you for what you're trying to say, but I have been extremely like, and I'm talking to you, Malty. I'm
Yeah,
talking to you prior to the last 4 days. So I have been very kind, understanding, patient with you amongst all things, right? I have done that. So if you're telling me, hey, I'm doing this for you, and if you're doing it for me, and if it's for me, and the person you're doing it for is saying, "Hey, I would like to speak to you, just not on here," would you like for me to be like, "Well, even though I'm telling you how I feel, I want to hear what you say." Because I'm telling you, I will hear you. I have heard you. You know when I'm live, how we talk and where we talk at. But I just don't know why you want to say it on here when I'm
the
saying I
reason the
don't want to talk about it anymore.
do you mind if I explain why I'm trying to say it
In
on
the
here?
in the in my DM, yes, but I don't want to. Once we get this ball rolling, it doesn't stop. So I'm doing a full stop today because I've given enough time to it. So full stop today, not towards you, and I hope you understand that, but everybody. I'm sure the live will dwindle down as soon as they. And if it doesn't, it just doesn't. But I'm still going to show up the way I have been showing up, regardless.
So what is the live about? Because I'm interested in dialogue. So what we finna talk about? Like what's going on?
So I have a prompt that I'm about to put up. I was gonna gauge the chat too to see. Usually I talk about um, toxic parentals, which Multi actually created this prompt, and it was basically like the effects that having toxic parents have on their children. I'm sorry, the effects that toxic parents' relationships have on their children. There's another one talking about like the effects of women that are raised by single mothers have and the effects that men raised by single mothers have. So I'm about to put that up in the backdrop.
Yeah, that's not really productive for my community. So I'm gonna go ahead and jump down. Y'all be smooth. I was not expecting that.
Or we could do speed dating. No, I'm just kidding. Let's see. There we go. Let me try to turn this around. Oh, I can dual, right? No.
Danny.
Hello.
Hey, Booski. Now, why you not answering the real questions? We want to know the real questions. Hello?
Bro, she's scared. That's crazy. Like on God, like I'm 13. I know that like sharing people information, even though they don't want.
So I got a toxic mama. I want to talk about my toxic mama, but first I want to talk about why you thought it was okay to go and dox somebody, and then when we ask questions, you want to control the narrative now, when you should have controlled the narrative by not posting the video. All the exposure you got is negative because of you. So why can't we
Do
talk
you
about
want to talk? Do you want to talk about your
it?
parents, or
No, let's
did you
talk
not?
about what you got going on. Why didn't you expose?
Hello.
This is real cowardly behavior because you inserted yourself in someone else's business.
Danny, you have add people on the live, and then when they ask questions, you get mad and take them out. What's up? Why you just can't
I'm. I'm.
take
I'm. I'm.
accountability for
I'm
one? As a black woman, no. As a black woman, take accountability first. You need to.
Are you
Hello?
able to talk about what happened to your child? This is the first time I'm on your live. I don't know what's going on or
am I going to
anything
talk
about
about what? I'm
you.
sorry.
I see a lot of people asking about your child, what happened to your child. I don't know if you could probably give us some background about you and your personality.
My son passed away at 4 months. I also had twins who passed away, and
Damn.
I've had another set of twins stillborn pass away too. But my son who passed away, he was 4 months. He was alive and well.
Um,
Have a topic.
I know it's not right that people are bringing that up. Was it natural?
Was my son's birth natural?
No, like, was it, because I think you said he was well. So how
Oh
did he pass
yeah,
away?
there is basically it was kind of the situation I guess everybody faces who has like a child pass away within the first year. SIDS, I think people usually call it. That was for the 4 months, my 4 month old.
I'm sorry for your loss. I do want to talk about the topic at hand. And I do think that, your actions from Risa Tisa does show that you need inner child healing. And
Okay. Does anybody else want to hop up?
Danny.
What's up, man?
Okay. I need to ask this of you, please.
Could
I
you
understand.
please, if it is anything to do with what is going on, you can message me on Instagram like we usually do. That's all I'm asking. I'm not saying I'm not listening to you or talking to you. I'm just saying do
No,
what we usually do.
the thing is I'm trying to say something that isn't even something that needs to be said on Instagram. I'm just trying to brief you on it, why I'm like trying to say it, and you're not giving me the chance to say it.
I
The thing
know,
I'm
because I'm a little apprehensive. So it's like message me on
well,
Instagram and be
okay,
like,
well
this is what I'm gonna.
well, I'm going to promise you, this is nothing specifically on talking about Risa herself. This is me talking about overall how the situation is flowing, right?
I know, and that's what I was saying. If you can just, why don't you want to message me about it? If that's what we usually do, why do you want to
The
stay
reason
out
why
in
I
this?
don't want to message you about it is because in the eyes of the public, it's not going to change unless it's talked about publicly, right?
I know, but I'm
Because
not
oh,
doing
wait,
this for the eyes of the public.
can I
I,
please finish,
how
please?
about this? Tell me what you want to say on Instagram, and then say it in the chat. But I do not want the conversation to turn. So tell me what you want to say in the chat, like we usually do, and then just hop up in the chat box.
The thing is that the conversation is already turned like 3, 4 times with the people
I
who've had to get kicked out. Like, this is the thing. Like, can I just please finish the sentence I'm trying to
if
say?
it yes, in my inbox, I really do not want to talk about it up here. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Hey, sweetie. So I am listening to everything, and I am absolutely Danny. Go, Danny. So I really want to know, because I really want to know what's going on with your inner child healing and your work conference. So, because I don't know if that stems into what we become as adults, how we develop as adults. So, can you tell me a little bit about it, Danny?
Or not to jump in, but like you just said, we all gotta, again, I just got back on here, so don't kick me off because I'm not gonna come at you. But what I am gonna say is exactly what that lady is saying. You have inner childhood that you need to work on, that you thought it was okay to go and expose somebody
No,
else's.
no, 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 don't do that. Let me tell you something. As a teacher, as an educator, we're not gonna come at her like this. Like, her topic is her topic, and her topic is going to get addressed, and we have to address the topic at hand. Now, when she's ready to address everything else, because at this point, it has become emotional, and this is not good. This is not good at all. So, what is your topic, Danny? Can you address your topic? And if you have to keep on exiting people, you do what you need to do. But like I said, as an educator, as a mother, as someone, I've never lost a child. My God in heaven, I've never lost a child. Not like you have anyway. You understand what I'm saying? So I heard you say stillborn, and my aunt had a stillborn. Actually, my grandmother and my aunt both had stillborns. Of course, I was young. I mean, I wasn't born when my grandmother had it, but I was young when my aunt had her stillborn. So can you speak about your topic? Are you even at a place where you can speak about it?
Yeah, I was trying to clean up the chat. So basically, that inner child healing work is that's a prompt that Multi actually created the toxic relationships, but another person in the community created this one. It stemmed from a conversation we were having about first the prompt started with three types of men raised by single moms, and then it switched over to because men felt like, hey, what about women? So then we switched it over to three types of women raised by single moms, and then people jumped in the chat on that conversation and was like, well, listen, I was raised by my mom and dad, and it was still bad. So then Malti came up with the prompt of how toxic relationships from your parents affect your childhood.
And they do.
Um, so how it affects you. And then another person came up and they were like, actually, a mod in the community was like, go ahead and let's talk about inner child work. And then they had a book recommendation for it too. Um, as far as inner child work for myself, I have had a therapist. I have went to therapy. I have done the things, and everything, everything with my childhood and everything, all of that has been processed, which is why I always recommend everyone go to therapy. All of that hate, rage, and communication of it is really an internal journey that's being spoke about externally, right? So all of that is happening because I do emotional processing. I can identify what emotions are not being processed and why they are being reacted, right? So what I teach is there is space in between anger and punching a wall, right? That's the process. Being able to identify you're angry, ask yourself why you're angry, assess why you're angry, and then figure out how to manage those emotions. Maybe boundaries, right? Uh, Effectively communicating, addressing it, leaving it alone. There are ways to process in between having an emotion and having a reaction. So I have done inner child work with my therapist, but as far as my children, yes, I have given birth to a stillborn. My son, I haven't talked about that on my page yet, but the son that I talk about on my page, his name was Infinite, and he passed away at 4 months. So this was like, birth, born, lived, randomly passed away. The stillborn situation was different, and then I also gave birth to twins too, who miscarried, who passed away.
Okay, so pretty much you've had a history in your physical so you have no children, so your bearing years are kind of hard.
No, I actually have children.
Okay.
I have children. This is just my experience. Really, when I talk about turning pain into purpose and the reason I created this community, kind of before everything went the way it went, we got on here live 2 times a day, twice a day, kind of with, you see the prompt and it says, let's chat, share a story, give advice, or ask questions, right? So it was really just creating a community in honor of my son because when that happened, I really didn't know how to process my emotions, right? I broke in more ways than one. Today, I'm able to look at it and be grateful for it, right? Which is why I preach turning pain into purpose.
Yeah.
So sometimes I might use prompts like this, right? I use prompts like this. I have several of them. And then other times I might allow people who are going through things email me or DM me and say, hey, can you talk about this? I have a really good idea. And we talk about it. Other times I will talk about something like the Alicia Keys and Swiss Beats situation, and Usher.
I'm
Like
too old for that. I don't know anything about that.
it was a soup. I'm just trying to say I've used like hot topics in the media before,
Yeah.
and then we kind of change the subject. It'll be like, okay, well, even though we're showing Alicia Keys, Usher, and Swiss Beats, it's like that'll get kind of piggybacked into, well, what are your boundaries in a relationship? What are you okay with, and what are you not okay with? Why? It'll kind of go from there to there. So I will use if something's going on an immediate opportunity to speak about it, but.
Well, I'm sorry. Can I interject?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So, so I heard you earlier, and you were talking about the male's perspective of, and then the female perspective of, because a lot of times when we speak about things that have happened in our lives, men tend to. It's so funny. Someone posted something on my page, and they said, um, what 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 was it that helped you care for a man? And I'm very sarcastic in my own little way, and I said playing with dolls. But the truth,
Hmm.
but the truth of the matter is, um, like my childhood, things that have happened in my life has geared to what I call repetition relationships, right?
Okay.
The same type of relationships. Uh, although I adored my father, and I mean, I don't really care about it like anymore. I've passed it, but it still hurts. But although I had adored my father and he's still living, I noticed that me and all of my siblings all have the same character traits. And
Hmm.
we are trying our best not to, not to, what is the word I'm looking for? Not to act on them, not to act on them in our relationships, in our parenting, things like that. And so for me, like my father, my inner child trauma was me thinking that I had a man that was really loving and caring. And so every time I meet someone, I meet a man that I think, and it's going to sound a little silly. Like I said, I'm almost 50, but it's going to sound
Hmm.
silly, but a certain smell. Like he got to have that good cologne smell. He has to have
Hmm.
that. He has to be that manicured man. He has to be that man that cleans his house. He has to be that man that dresses himself. And sometimes those are not those are his traits, but those are not necessarily what I need in a relationship. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah. So, you know, and I'm looking at all of these comments, and the funny thing is, I someone said boundaries. There are boundaries. There are boundaries in how far we can be pushed, what we should deal with, what we're willing to deal with and what we're not willing to deal with and what we're willing to address at certain times. Therapy is never, to me, because I'm in therapy as well, and I have suggested to my children the same thing because of our fields. I'm in education. One of my daughters are in mental health. My son, education and mentoring, things like that. So we're all in the public. And so I absolutely suggest that everybody go and see somebody that they can talk to, because sometimes it's not good to talk to friends or family.
That's
But
true.
this inner child, every time I think about it, I realize that everything that I deal with that triggers me has to do with what I dealt with in my past.
Yes.
Danny.
Yeah.
Okay. Look, I need you just to take me serious, and and this is like the only time I'm going to do this because like, look, you're saying shit in DMs that's kind of irking me a little bit. I'm not trying to use this as an opportunity to get enough followers to go live. I'm trying to come at this from an opportunity of you, well, not even opportunity, the perspective as a friend. The whole reason I've been trying
I
to talk.
understand you
No,
talking as a.
please. I understand that I understand that you don't want to talk about the situation.
So
You
please
look, please,
respect that.
but wait,
Please
but
respect
can
that.
you respect me enough as your friend and as your moderator who's been with you for almost the start to listen out to what I have to say, right?
I
This
said
isn't
yes,
anything. This is
just
wait, please,
DM
please.
me. I am saying I
But
would
this is
listen to
but
you. Don't
Danny, this is
change
the
the
thing.
chat.
The DMs is not going to fix this situation.
I'm not
This
trying
is
to
a
fix a
public.
situation. That's what I think I would like to express. I am not trying to fix the situation. I am trying to go live about inner child's work.
The
I
thing is, but
will.
like that's the thing.
That's
You're
all I
not going
want
to
to
be able to
do.
go live. You're not
But
going to be
that's
able to
what
go
I'm
live
doing.
unless you
I'm
fix
going
this.
live right now with her. She is talking. She
But do
is
you see the
talking about her
but
inner child. I do
do you
not.
see the
I have switched.
comments?
I do not because I'm not paying attention to them. I am talking to this woman like I usually do. That's all I'm
Okay, so
saying.
do you see the comments on your page? Do
I
you see the
do
things that are
not.
being do you
I
see the
do
constant
not.
reports?
I do not. I do not. Because I want to talk to people about inner child's work.
The thing is, you're not going to be able to talk to anybody because all the
I'm
people who want to come
doing
up in
it
the
right
box want to
now.
yell at you.
She's no, there is a woman, if that was true, there is a woman on here who is talking to me who is not yelling at me. I
But
am doing what
the
you're
ratio of
saying.
that
And
one
that's all that
to the
matters is this
14.
one. Exactly. That's all that matters is this one. She's willing to talk about it.
So
I
then
am
if
willing to hear her
so then
out.
wait, hold up. If all that matters is that one, so why did you take over 7 people's opinions over just
Oh
Reese's
my,
opinion then?
oh my God.
Like, no, the thing is, I'm trying to come at you from a friend standpoint. It's like the
As a
thing is,
friend, I am telling you, I would like to hear this woman out. That is what I'm asking you. That is what I'm telling you. There's a woman talking about her inner child work, and you want to talk about something I have
so my
asked
thing is, so
several
what?
times.
So are you only going to be able to have one person up on the box all night? Because
I
you've been
don't
having up
believe
to 20
so.
people request up
I
here, and I
don't
already
I
know that
believe
if I accept any of these requests,
then
we're
don't
immediately
accept
going to
them.
talk
Let her
about the
talk.
Risa situation.
Let her talk. Let the woman who wants to talk about the prompt talk. That's it. That's what I do. Let the woman who wants to talk and be heard and who is expressing her childhood trauma and therapy, let her talk.
I understand. Look, this is the thing.
If you say you understand, let this woman talk.
Okay,
She
well
is
then,
talking.
okay, wait, hold up. I got a better thing for you. You're not providing her a safe space to talk because this entire
Ma'am,
comment
are
section
you,
is
well, ask her that. You can't, are you okay with talking or
okay,
would you like to talk in SEM?
Miss Bevan, honestly and truthfully, without the bias towards Danny or this situation or any of this standpoint, do you honestly feel like that you are safe enough to talk about your childhood trauma in this comment section when everybody is talking about Danny and the situation that is going on TikTok, which has been laced in all of this negativity, nastiness, and just belittlement? This situation isn't anywhere where I feel like is a positive space to
Do
express
you, let her answer. Would you like to talk or would you like to jump in my DM?
Okay, sorry. Miss Bevan. I don't hear anything.
Can you hear me? I'm sorry.
Yes, yes, ma'am.
I
I
can
can hear
hear
you now.
you.
I apologize for that.
So,
Would you like to continue to talk?
so Danny, give me 1 second to address him because, like I said, as an educator, I have to listen to everybody. So I'm going to address him first. I'm looking at the comments. I know what the comments are. I have followed all the stories and everything, but honestly, I understand what you're saying when you say it's a lot of people and they only want this. But honestly, they're going to keep badgering her. And the truth is, my heart hurts right now because it's, it's like a bully situation. And you talk about triggers. I was bullied as a child. Here
Well,
goes the inner.
Miss
Hold
Bevins,
on,
this is
hold
the.
on, hold on, hold
Oh,
on. Hold
I
on. Give me 1
apologize. I
second. I'm gonna
apologize.
get it out. Give me 1 second. I
Yes,
promise.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
And for her to go in the fire knowing that they're shooting, it's gonna be hard. Now, far as I'm concerned, I'm talking about general stuff. I mean, I'm talking about things that I talk about on my own platform, that I talk about in church, that I talk about with my mentoring group, that I talk about, you know what I'm saying? So it's nothing that I'm talking about that I haven't already talked about publicly in several settings. So I'm not really worried about that. My worry is that this young lady, that the bullying is going to affect her in a different way. And that's not good for me and other people that are scared to speak out.
That's exactly what I've said to her. I've said to her before
So,
that the
okay,
situation
she
would
just
be
spoke about
draining.
me. I am telling you guys that I am okay. I
Okay.
do not need, if I am okay, again, I know what's going on. I know the collective conversation. I am still showing up. And if I'm going to show up, then
Yep.
it needs to be respected that I am showing up. I am willing to show up. What is not being understood is, before this situation, I have said that this is my purpose. So I show up for my purpose. Feelings, thoughts, and attitudes of the public change constantly. I have to focus on my purpose and my intention. So if I'm willing to talk about it, I understand if you want to talk about it, you can. I'm just saying not on here. I'm going to continue to show up, whether there's one person in a chat box or I'm sitting on here for 2 hours and nobody shows up. I'm going to show up. So
Yep.
if
Okay.
she wants to keep talking, let her talk. I understand that you, like you say, you want to speak out because you said, as my friend, you want to speak out. If you are my friend, I am telling you, I am okay and I want to keep doing what is aligned with my purpose.
So
That's it.
so hold
That's
up, hold up.
it.
So you're saying that your purpose is to like take.
My purpose is to hear this woman out in the chat box who is speaking. That is what my purpose is, and that is what I'm going to do on this live. That's what I'm saying. If that doesn't happen, then I'm going to continue putting people up in the chat box. If they want to keep talking about it, I'm going to continue to move forward. I will not mention or address that any longer, regardless of the comments, regardless of anything. It's not, I'm just not going to do it.
I understand that you want to move forward. The issue is that you're
No,
not going to be.
I want you to understand that I
Danny,
am moving
Danny,
forward.
you're not going to be able to move forward unless you delete the
How can you
video.
tell me that? How can you tell me that when I'm telling you
Because
that I'm doing it?
okay, wait, hold up. Actually,
Let's just
though,
stop talking. Let's
in
just
that
stop talking about
situation,
it. Let's just stop
and
talking about it. Let's just stop
look,
talking about that. I'm asking you to stop talking about that. That's all I'm asking. That is all I'm asking. Let's stop talking about it.
I understand that you want me to stop talking about it, but at the same time, us mods are getting death threats and stuff on your behalf. If you like,
So if you would,
no. If we actually got to be truthful about it, Carrie has texted me. So has Veronica. So has what's her name? Phoenix has texted me that we have gotten, and I have also have gotten death threats on your behalf over this situation, and we have people
why
blaming
aren't
us.
you
Wait,
messaging me about
hold up.
this?
We have people
That's all
blaming
I'm
us
asking.
on you. We have people blaming us for your behalf. That's the thing. We have people blaming us for your actions.
Malti,
We
take a
have
I'm
people
breath.
taking
asking
out their
you to
anger on
message
us
me.
for
That's
your
it.
actions.
Okay,
Malti, take a
again,
breath. Malti, take a breath. Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. Then I understand where you are coming from, but you have to look
this
at
is about,
you have to look at it at the aspect that the platform isn't just about you. It's supposed to be about the people you're trying to reach out to, the people you're trying to connect to. If they're looking at your comment section and it's going crazy because of videos that you have up, that's not helping the people you're trying to help.
you guys, if anybody on the chat box wants to talk about what's going on for the topic, I will hear you out. If you guys want to address anything to do what's going on with social media right now, DM me and I will hear you out. DM me. I honor and I appreciate what you're saying. DM me and I will message you back. This is not that. This is not that live. That's all I'm saying. So that was it. Now, if anybody wants to move forward in a conversation about this topic, we can. If you guys want to
What
talk about
exactly is the conversation that you're attempting to have on this topic?
this
The
one
inner
right
child
here,
healing work.
yeah, so it says it in the thing. Inner child healing work. Let's chat, share your story, give advice, or ask questions. Have you decided
So
to work on your inner
this
child?
is for people who feel like they need work on their inner child.
No, it's just it's not if they need or anything like that. This is just if you want to share,
So
chat, ask
give me
advice.
a start off with the conversation about what we should be talking about this topic, because I'm not understanding
So
what,
it's
you know.
so basically can you see the questions or do you need me to read it out?
Have you set
Speaking, you're not like blowing up. Your box isn't like lighting up. So if you are speaking, just tell me who
here and
you are
everybody else
and
has to mute so you can see my box? I think made with I don't know, maybe it's just not working. I want to talk about, have you set boundaries and if they have been respected? I think a lot of people have set boundaries, but I don't think other people respect those boundaries. And in such a way, I don't think, in your example, I don't think your boundaries have been respected in a lot of ways. But I also feel as though you haven't respected other people's boundaries. So when you ask about inner child healing work, my question to you is, have you done?
Hold on, what happened?
I have a question pertaining to your topic. So,
yeah, if you want to speak, go ahead.
this is my
Diana.
question.
Mm-hmm.
So, when we're talking about, because I know you're talking about childhood and how things can affect us as an adult, right? So, as a child, let me give you an example of a mother and a daughter relationship.
Mm-hmm.
If a mother did something to a daughter, even though it was quote unquote seen as good intentions, yet that thing still hurt that child, should the mother apologize simply for what she's done or the effect that it did on the child?
I can't answer that. What do you think?
I mean, we're having a dialogue, so I would like to know your opinion on that.
So your mother did something to you and it
No,
affected
not
you,
the
and
me.
you're like, okay.
I'm using it in general. Let's just say this. The child's boundaries are not to go through my phone. The mother goes through the child's phone, right? The child, even though the mother didn't seem it was wrong because her intentions were well, the mother still did something against the child boundaries that they were set. So do you feel like the mother should apologize to the child for how she was feeling? Even though the intentions could be well, do you
I
feel like
think
the
the
mother,
mother should talk to the child about how she is feeling, and they should talk in depth about how she is feeling, and she can figure out if the child needs validation in how she's feeling. I think there's a multitude of ways to go about it. It just depends on the child's needs, honestly.
so with that being said, because I understand you can have a talk with your child, but if
Hmm.
we're going to talk about the effects as an adult, the reason why people are the way that they are as adults now is because their mother never simply said the word, I'm sorry. I apologize, not even about what I did, but how I made you feel with their action.
Hmm.
So do you feel like that's necessary as a parent? Do you feel like that has an impact on why people the way they are at this age? Or do you think that is not necessary at all?
Do I think a mother's apology has an effect on a child and taking that effect into adulthood?
Yes.
Possibly, yeah, if the child felt like they needed that.
Well, I
Right.
think that you just answered the question that everybody had, that you should apologize.
I are we talking about a situation that has gone viral? Was that
You feel as an adult to any young child, whether it's your child or not, that is necessary to apologize for how you made somebody else feel, whether it was in good intentions or not?
no, I don't. I think it's important to, if we're talking about my parenting style, right? If we are actually talking about parent child, if we're talking about my parenting style, I empower my children to understand that they are in control of their emotions. They are in control of their emotions. And if they say something like, she made me mad, I'll say, you allowed yourself to be mad, because I want my children to understand that nothing happens, or nothing really happens unless you allow it to happen, as far as having control and autonomy over what comes out of your mouth and what you open the door for. Now, if you say something or feel a certain type of way based on your reaction from it, I will respect you, I will listen to you, I will hear you out, but there is a certain empowering perspective that I have in my parenting, because
Okay.
I want my children to be able to identify, assess, and manage their emotions.
Okay. So, I'm not sure what you really title yourself as, whether it's a person that do psychology or counseling or whatever, right? But we have to understand.
Consulting just so you want to talk about my child's inner child work, my inner child work, or your inner child work?
I mean, if we're gonna do a dialogue, because I understand you were saying your community, right? But my point is, if you're gonna have a dialogue with your community, the definition of a dialogue or a conversation or a debate is bringing different perspectives of topics, bringing them together, coming to a mutual agreement or understanding from different perspectives. So I know that you have your own perspective on how you would do things, but the
Hmm.
point of having a discussion is to hear how other people do things so that you all can come to a common ground of what can be balanced between the debate, right? So when we see what emotions is by definition, an emotion is an expressive response. It is what makes us human. It is a feeling. So everybody has been sad about something. Everybody has been upset. Everybody has been hurt about something, right? As an example, I'm not trying to come at you because I've had a miscarriage before. But like your children, your miscarriage, we're not going to say, well, you're going to be down because you couldn't carry a child in a sense, right? Because you choose to be down. But what we're saying is you did feel those feelings because that happened to you. What makes you human is that you have expressed those feelings that had happened to you. You expressed the hurt. Yet you what? You didn't allow that thing to internally hurt you throughout life, but you had a feeling towards that. Now, when we go into something that is, deflecting in a sense when it comes to a child, isn't an
But
avoidance.
you addressed when you said that I had a feeling. I did. My point in that is I chose to have a feeling. I chose. I mean, like there's a book and it says, although pain is inevitable, suffering is optional. So yes, I can feel something, but I can address it and move forward. If I'm in pain, I don't have to suffer. If I'm angry, I don't have to fumigate. I don't have to hurt people. I don't have to hit people. If I'm sad, I don't have to cry. You can feel and experience an emotion, the reaction in which how long it lasts and all of that is what
But
I'm talking about.
do you think that
So I have a question. So in knowing, okay, so what was it?
I can't see who's just because like the chat the chat just say who's talking. That way I know who to address because sometimes the chat box does not light up.
I forgot it. I'm at the bottom. Okay, so I, I lost it because you said something about you can choose. Can you choose to be hurt or you cannot choose? What was that you
Oh, I
just
was saying
said?
it said although pain is inevitable, suffering is optional, which means that yes, if I hit my pinky toe, that hurts. I feel pain. Yes, at suffering because of that pain is the option. Is what I'm saying. So that
Is
that that
that
was
is
like
that real or is that like a manifestation? Because
well
I'm sure.
that is written by a book by that
Okay,
is
it's
a book
it's in a
written by
book.
Joseph.
It's in a book, but just because it's in a book does not mean that it's a actual fact and it's a
I'm
reality.
not.
Because
I wasn't arguing fact or reality. I was
yeah,
just
I'm 100%
to
certain. I'm 100% certain if you hit your foot, it hurts and that pain is real. And so therefore, we have to be very careful about the
wait
hurt that we inflict
to
on
be
other people.
clear. I want to I want to be clear. I'm not arguing that it didn't hurt. That hurt that you feel from hitting your toe, that pain that you feel from hitting your toe is real. I'm not doubting that. Okay. So if that is what you thought I meant, no, I'm not. I want to say, if you hit your toe, that pain is real. The choice to suffer is what I was quoting from this book. That's it. I was just using it as a reference. So that was basically what I was saying to Yana or Yauna at the top. Um, when she was kind of addressing the analogy between when I mentioned about the kids, because she was using the analogy about mother and child. Um, so whoever was just talking, I wanted to just make sure, hey, yes, that pain is real and it is a part of reality.
In knowing that pain is real, that should cause more people to have empathy. You get what I'm
Pain
saying? Like,
being
like
real. Oh,
a
so you're
lot of
saying
people,
if somebody feels pain,
and
you
if they're
should.
hurt, and if they're hurt as a result of an action that is caused by us, then what is the proper response?
From me or from that person
From
experiencing it?
you, from the person who inflicted the actual pain.
If I, so are, how did I inflict pain on my child?
We're speaking metaphorically. This was the discussion that
Okay,
we
but
was
we're
having.
trying,
Like you're getting away. Like I don't. Where are you going? Like you're
I'm
in one
trying to
space, but
stay on,
you're trying. No, you're trying to not.
Did did you want to finish your metaphor, or does anybody have anything else to say about the prompt that's on the screen?
Danny. Look, hold up. Before anybody else in the
Thank you.
panel, I gotta respectively ask everybody in the panel just to mute up for a second, please. Respectively. Danny, you
If you,
clearly,
I've said
Danny,
several
Danny,
times, message me if you want to say something,
Danny,
and you will
Danny,
not do that.
This is the thing. The messages isn't going to work in this situation. I keep on
But
trying
I'm
to
telling
explain
you,
this to you.
it's working for me. Why are you trying to
Okay,
address the
so
situation?
you're be honest with me. Be honest with me. Are you
I'm being
mentally
honest.
okay? Or no. Are you mentally okay with the DMs you are getting? Be 100% honest. Like, be fucking for real. Are you okay with them talking shit about your dead child? Are you okay with them doxing your address? Are you okay with the possibility that because you think about it, you were very lenient
Do
on
you
camera.
realize you still
I
are talking about this, and I'm
Danny,
asking you not to?
Danny,
Do
this
you
is the thing. I
realize that?
understand that. The thing is, it's not, things are not going to
I
change for you.
understand that you say okay, but again, if your perspective is, hey Danny, I'm your friend. I'm trying to tell you something as a friend. I've said thank you. I appreciate you being my friend. Message me and say it. You have yet to do that. And
The
if
reason
you
why
would
I
like to,
haven't
I
messaged you,
understand your
the reason
reasoning,
why I haven't
but
messaged you to say
oh,
that is because every time I've tried to say something on the panel that hasn't been anything that needed to be messaged, I've gotten shut down. That's the reason why. I'm gonna be honest, I feel disrespected right now as a person who has been supporting you since day one and who has been doing all the blocking and the muting and shit on the fucking channel for the past week or so during this situation. I've had people blame me for your mistakes when I clearly have done something that you tell me to do. I don't block, I don't mute, I don't turn off the comments unless you tell me, because guess what? I respect you as a black woman and your panel not to take control of it. But guess what? In this moment, I'm gonna have to take control of it because you're not thinking clearly. You have kids. You have to realize this. You have children. This is the internet. This is 2024. The motherfuckers on Twitter and TikTok are not afraid to come knock at your fucking door. I don't care what Corsier or whatever you got for extra security. They will come to your door. You don't understand that. Like, I'm really just trying.
I am asking you to please stop talking about this on live. And I've
The
asked
thing,
you 3 times and you will
Danny,
not
you realize they
stop.
talked about you on the Good Morning Show this morning. Do
Okay,
you
but
realize that?
I am asking you to stop and you won't stop. I have said respectfully, anything that you want to say to me, can you please DM me and I will hear you out. You have said several times.
You didn't hear me out the first time when I asked you to take down the videos. You most likely didn't hear out Veronica either when she asked you to take down the videos either. You didn't hear us out when
Wait,
Carrie even came up on the panel and said that we were getting death threats. Like,
do you
okay,
see
so
how
tell me,
you
tell me this.
still talking about it?
No.
I'm asking you not to talk
Tell me
about
this.
it.
Is that video worth your mods in your
Do you
community getting
understand?
death
I'm
threats?
asking.
Hey,
Okay,
Danny.
so if that is important to you, right? If this answer is important to you, and I'm saying I will address it, stop talking about it on here and just message me so we can
Danny,
figure it out. That's it.
Danny, it has to be talked about on here
No,
because
it
all of us,
doesn't. I'm
yes,
telling
it
you,
does.
it does not.
Danny,
Can
listen to
I
me.
say
Danny,
something,
listen.
y'all?
Wait,
Can I
hold up.
say
I am.
something?
Can I say something really quick? Just really
I
Hold up,
quick.
just before I
please give me
have
one
said
second.
several times. I have said several times because here's the thing. Here's the thing, and this is what I want to address.
Wait, Danny.
Before it
Wait.
go.
Can I say something really quick before you say that?
If it has
Please.
anything to do with what's going on, please do not. That's it. If it has anything to do what's going on with that, do not. I don't want to drop you down from the chat.
I'm telling you, Danny,
Can
you're
I
not
ask
gonna have
Monty
any
a
chance
question?
with this.
And
You
I'm
can, yeah,
telling
you
you
can
that
ask. Oh,
it
hold up,
is
she's asking me a question. She's asking me a question. It's not
okay,
towards
but
you.
Okay, I just want to know, like, if she was to take the video down, what would that do? Because everybody already know that she posted the video and exposed his face. So what would that? How
So
would that help her?
this is the thing. Her taking down the video, which showed that she does not want to profit from the situation, because clearly she is making a profit from the situation, being in the
How much
TikTok
money
creator
have I
program.
made from it? Okay,
But wait,
clearly.
Danny,
Hold on, real
Danny.
quick. No. Hold on. Everybody, please be quiet. Everybody's drawing this narrative is why I do not want to discuss it. When people say obviously, clearly she is, that's not the case. I am saying message me and talk to me. The reason I am saying that is because I would love to address people's concerns if they are their concern. I would like to address it to them. If you are concerned, I will talk to you about it in my
The reason,
messages.
well, this is the thing,
Let
Danny.
me
The reason,
finish. Please stop muting. Please stop unmuting and allow me to finish. I would like to have control over what I choose to talk about based on everybody else having feelings or feeling like they're doing what's best for me, or if there are concerns that you have, message me. I will talk to you. I do not want to talk about it on this platform. One of that is being because, first of all, everybody who is saying delete the video, it has been recorded and shared, news outlets, etc.
Exactly.
Second, let me finish. Let me finish. Second, every single live I've done has been screen recorded and shared. So I have decided I'm not talking about that on live because I don't know who's in here and who's screen recording. I have said it several times. So now I have explained why I will not. Whoever gets up here, if you speak about it, if you express yourself about it, if you want to talk about it, I'm going to drop you down. I appreciate people talking to me. I appreciate y'all caring for me. And I want to show you that appreciation by making sure I read your message, hear you out, and respond. But based on the fact that I don't know who's in here and who's screen recording, I'm not going to do that. Second, when I switched over to sub only live, I switched over because I thought and was told by people in my live before that would be a good idea because if I subbed, people wouldn't spend money to hop in and then my life would go back to normal. Hindsight, that didn't happen. So now I am done listening and taking advice from everybody, but I will hear people's concerns out and address them and talk to them and work through them and adjust from that separately, privately.
so
I don't know who's in here. Hold on.
So
I'm
wait,
not finished. I'm not finished. Please cut it.
No, the thing
Monty,
is, you
have
haven't
modded this
really let me
group.
finish at all either, though.
Okay, Monty, you have modded this group, and ever since the beginning, we have said we do not debate. We hear people out, and we have to respect the host and not cut them off. I will unmute everybody, top to bottom. The moment that any concern is addressed about what I have said patiently, that I will not talk about anymore, I'm going to mute you and I'm going to go on to the next person. I will not talk about it anymore unless you message me. I won't. I will not talk about it anymore unless you address me in my DM. That's it. It will not be discussed on here. I'm sorry if that's going to make everybody feel like they're not being heard, but guess what? You really want to talk to me about it? Message me. I cannot control who's recording this, what sound bites they are using, what narrative. I cannot control that, but I can control what I listen to and what I say.
Can I
What I
say
listen
something?
to,
So can I
of
ask
course
you
you
a
can.
question? May I ask
Sure,
a question?
sure, 100%.
Okay. And I understand you don't want to talk about it. I'm not asking you to talk about it. I'm just saying, is it fair for the people
Who's
that are...
speaking?
I'm speaking. You can't...
I'm sorry, by the way, the chat, but the blue box is not lighting up around people's names. I'm not
Okay.
sure why.
So I'm speaking. I said it. Ann is speaking.
Anna?
I said it, Ann.
Oh, okay, I see it.
Okay. So I get that you don't want to talk about it because, people are recording your lives. I fully understand that. And I fully understand that the picture that you have up about inner child healing work is something that you want to bring the people who are on this live to talk about and engage with you with.
No, this is something one of the people that were in my group asked me to post about a while ago, and they also put a book recommendation up. This is a prompt that somebody, a part of my community prior to this situation.
Mhm.
We jumped back and forth from that.
No. I get that. But earlier you said you wanted to just let's talk about what you have on the screen, right?
Yeah, just stay on topic. That's all I was.
Okay, I got you. Fully
Mhm.
understand. So this is all I'm saying. And don't, like you said, you don't want to talk about it. So you definitely do not have to respond. I'm not trying to attack you or anything like that. All I'm saying is,
But if
I
you
think it's
mention
something.
anything in reference to that, I want to hear
I
you
haven't,
just
I haven't
message it
said
to me.
anything
I
yet.
didn't say you were. Again, you did not. So I'm just prefacing.
Okay,
If you
I
really
get you.
okay,
I
gotcha.
get you. But what I'm saying is, one, I just feel like we all should be respectful. So the same way you want people to hear you, I think it's just very kind of you to do the same thing when someone else is talking. Secondly, I understand what you're trying to do and how you want to move forward and discuss what happened in a private arena such as the inboxes, but it just comes across when you do something publicly but you want to address it privately as not being sincere. So I say all that to say you want us to let's talk about the picture that you have about the inner child healing work, but nobody can take that topic seriously or you seriously.
To be clear, I have addressed this publicly. I have went live about it and I have made videos about it. So if moving on, that message or whatever you wanted to say, go ahead and shoot it in my inbox and I will respond back to you. Um,
Okay, anyways,
and this is
I wanna.
also, by the way, to that point, for the people who think I'm doing this for monetary reasons, me getting a DM and responding back does not make me 1 ounce of money. 1 ounce of money. So if anybody wants to talk about that and they feel like I'm doing this for money, prove me wrong and you right and message me in my inbox. And we can move forward. I don't make one dime, 1 quarter, 1 cent. So you want to be heard, I will hear you in my inbox. If you start to talk about it, I will drop you down. I will drop you down. Go
I want
ahead
to
for the
go
next
back.
person who wants to say.
I want to go
Go
back
ahead.
to the topic, right? Because I know
Mhm.
you said you said that your title is as far as your profession is something to
Is
do with.
this the girl at Yana
Yes,
Blessed?
yes.
Can we just can we just let the other three people up here so I could reset the chat box because you were talking for a little bit and I appreciate you talking for me.
Okay, I just wanted to ask you as far as your profession. When it goes into, being a counselor or psychologist, which is somebody who is studying mental possessive human behavior by observing, interpreting, or recording people body relates to their environment. And I want to say, what makes a psychologist or a counselor or
I'm not a psychologist or or I do not counsel.
okay,
So
but I know
so
you talk
to answer
about.
your question, I
I know.
talk about emotional processing.
Right. That's still nearly in the area of mental, because mental has to do with something also with emotional and internal things. But what makes because I know you are leading the topic, which essentially you would be like a teacher, or you would be like somebody who is also guidance, right? But what makes them different is critical experience, ethical guidelines, evidence based on practice, empathy, and objectively, confidently, and personalization of care. All of these
We have
traits.
had psychologists and licensed therapists on the in the chat.
Yeah, I understand that because I went to school for it too. But my point is that,
Well,
my point is that because I understand we was talking about the subject. The first thing you went to is, well, as a parent, I would do this, right? But I'm going to say this and I'm going to drop down. My advice to you as a teacher is a teacher also learns. And also when a teacher learns, a teacher is also learning others as they speak as well during the conversation. So my thing is if you are giving a form of advice, I think that you should basically listen to other people and how they perceive things, because that's how we grow as human beings. We don't grow just based off of what I saw and what I feel. As a human, we grow based off of what other people have experienced and what other people feel, and that's what brings us connections as beings. That's I know you muted me, but God bless you, sister, and I hope you truly go before God with this situation and with a repentant heart.
Hey, Danny, it's Miss Bird. Oh, my box is lighting up. Are you there, Danny?
Yeah, I'm here.
Danny?
I muted myself because I didn't want y'all to hear me smacking in y'all ear. But I'm here.
So, with inner child work, I want to talk about the topic. So, with inner child work, what exactly? Because I'm reading the topics, and when dealing with like stuff that is this talking about like dealing with stuff that you went through as a child, right?
It's I can read the prompts for you. So we had a live before, and it started with excuse me. It started with three types of men. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Three types of men raised by single moms, and then men kind of said, "Well, what about the women?" And then I did raised by three types of women raised by single moms, and then there were people who were joining the chat, and they were kind of like, "Well, listen, I've had both my parents, and this is what I've experienced from that." So then that also, it kept going, and then it was the people who were kind of raised without um, parents, orphans, people raised by their grandparents, stuff like that. So once all of this was done and said, somebody mentioned that, hey, well, since we're talking about inner child, let's do an inner child one. So they sent me a prompt in my DM, and we created inner child. I created this prompt where it just gives the people opportunity. It says, let's chat, share your story. If there's somebody on the panel who is kind of talking about what they're going through and why they're going through it, you could give them advice, right? Like, let's just say it's a 21-year-old who's talking about it. And now that 21-year-old is talking about, maybe you're 37, maybe you're 43, and you could say, hey, this is my inner child work. You could give advice to that person who's on the panel. So I really sometimes kind of mute up and let you guys kind of bounce off back and forth from each other. And so that's the give advice part. And then, or ask questions, right? You get to ask each other questions. So it's really like just a space for, excuse me, it's just a space for community. People get the opportunity to speak.
How does anybody have the opportunity to speak if you keep muting everyone, though? And
Oh,
Malty,
so
if you
if
need a
I
place
was
to speak where you're not going to be muted, you can come to my live.
So
So if I want to make sure anybody who's up here, if the conversation starts on, if it starts to steer off topic, just for me to make sure that I keep up that boundary that we're done talking about it, I will drop you down. If you do want to talk about something that's kind of going off the topic that I will not speak about anymore, I do want to make sure you heard out, and I will address it privately. I have said that several times. So now that we've got that out the way, if you do want to say anything, you're more than welcome to.
So I just want to talk about number 4. It says, have you set boundaries? If you, I can't read it so small. If you
I
have,
got you.
are
It
they?
says, if you have you set boundaries? If you have, are they being respected?
So when setting boundaries for yourself,
Are you talking about me or from you?
in me, just in general, just like any normal person, when you're setting boundaries for yourself, if you feel like your boundaries are not being respected, because I feel like I tend to do this sometimes. Like, I feel like if my boundaries aren't being respected, I start disrespecting other people's boundaries. Does that make
Oh, you
sense?
mean like, so basically like you kind of You kind of project it, right? Like, so,
Yeah.
but again, so do you feel like that is kind of coming from your inner child, or are you saying that's just what you do as of today?
I think a lot of what we go through as kids, we project as. Hi, Mama. Hold on, baby. What's that? It's the light. I just feel like as children, we go through a lot of stuff. Like if we don't feel heard, or if we don't feel heard, it kind of plays out in our adult life. Especially like if our boundaries weren't respected as children, and then they continue to not be respected as adults. Then it becomes a pattern where then we start projecting out and start like, even like the people closest to us, you know, like my sister. Let's take my sister, for example. If I feel like she has crossed my boundaries one too many times, then to show her how it feels, like I'll start to cross hers. So how do we fix that where we don't cross other people's boundaries so our boundaries are respected?
It's a question because I definitely agree with what you were saying, but I was wondering too, by listening to you speak, I'm wondering if having inner childhood trauma and trying to heal from that inner childhood trauma, it got me thinking, like, having toxic parents, can it make you very passive or even very aggressive to situations that you